Okay, so this whole thing started 12,000 years ago, right?
Yeah?
Well, humans were going through the 5th World War. Judd, the cat I was talking about in the last video, had this weird and unique ability to be able to call the winners of battles.
Wait, what do you mean?
Like, he was able to quickly decide the winner of turf battles at a glance. He could see which team won just by looking at it.
Okay, so how does this have anything to do with the 5th World War? And what were they even fighting about?
Yeah, I'm getting to that. While there isn't really an explicit description of what the war was about, most assume it was about land occupation. Countries battled it out to win over their turf, aka land. Judd was also called in to look at the state of the war and decide a winner. However, this war was so close to a tie that even Judd couldn't figure it out.
Okay, so how does this have anything to do with the big bomb that hit Antarctica?
Yeah, so to make sure that one side officially won, they were gonna go all out. The general of one of the warring nations bought this huge bomb from this arms dealer and aimed it at the South Pole. The strike from the bomb melted the South Pole ice in a single catastrophic blast. Oceans surged over every coastline. Cities vanished overnight, and the human era as we know it ceased to exist.
Wow, did they really not realize that sending a bomb would melt all the ice?
I mean, no one knows the exact details of why the South Pole was chosen, but judging by the fact that nobody really seemed to care about the looming climate crisis that was occurring at the same time, they probably just didn't care enough.
If all mammals died when the sea levels rose, how did Judd survive?
Okay, so before everyone perished off the face of the Earth, one unnamed scientist injected Judd with an immortality serum and put him in a cryogenic freezer pod for 10,000 years. He hoped by then sea levels would have fallen, and Judd could help make sure that future generations of whatever life form evolved later down the line would have some piece of what used to be. He also included a DNA sample of his cat so that another Judd would still survive in the case that the original Judd didn't survive the cryogenic freezing process, as well as give Judd a friend and someone to keep him company in case he did survive.
Oh, that makes sense.
Hoping future life forms wouldn't repeat humanity's mistakes, the professor also fashioned a vast archive of human knowledge and put it in a telephone, whom was later called Commander Tartar, to preserve every scrap of human knowledge. Then, the scientist and the rest of the human species disappeared beneath the waves. Over the next 10,000 years, marine life forms began to evolve. Squids and octopi developed arms and legs, becoming the inklings and octolings that we know today. 10,000 years later, Judd woke up from his cryogenic slumber and helped the next generation of intelligent life forms.
Wait, so when does this great turf war you mentioned earlier happen? Wouldn't they have learned what happened to humanity from the telephony thingy?
I'll answer all your questions, including the Great Turf War debacle, in my later video, so follow so you don't miss the next episode.
Nah, seriously, who are you talking to, bro?